Hey, welcome to Sports Talk. I'm your host, Chris Rayner. Friday, April 26th. My goodness, this month is moving along. I have guests today, co-host, not guests. You guys are co-hosts. You are family. Mike Ervin, thank you, Mike, for making time out of your busy schedule, absolutely, solving crime and keeping us safe to come in here and talk sports with us today. And honored guest, honored co-host, probably going to be a little more co-hosting here in the next, after the next couple of months or so. We'll see how it goes.
30 days.
Dave Miller, 30 days left in state employment.
That is correct.
Now, are you going to be one of those that jumps right back in it?
Kind of.
But not with the state, though.
I can't. I got to take 6 months off from the state.
That's right. And then you can only come back for, 20 hours, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. It's always been a kind of, we'll get into that later, but you can keep more qualified people if you just let them keep getting their salary, just don't give them benefits.
Correct.
You get that through your insurance, but the state don't work that way.
Nope.
So thank y'all for being with us. We're going to talk about a lot of sports topics today. We got Carolina Hurricanes. We got Down East Wood Ducks. We got Osprey season coming up. We mentioned that a little bit. Steve's not here yet. We don't know for sure if Steve Goodson's coming or Joey Mahowczyk, but with Steve not here, we might want to get baseball in early.
Yeah, we can get
Steve
some baseball.
Hates baseball.
Does not like baseball.
You think Steve went out for baseball when he was a kid or something? Got picked last or something? Maybe
he's one of those guys got hit.
Well, do you think the Roto Rooters cut him or something? From
No,
the
probably like T-ball. He probably got cut from a T-ball team or something, and he's not liked it ever since.
Or maybe he struck out in T-ball.
It could be.
And he took a little he does not like baseball.
Does not.
And we all have our sports. We're not. I think all three of us are not real big on the NBA, are we?
No.
So that's our baseball to Steve. So we'll let Steve talk about the NBA if he shows up. If not, we'll have to mention it a little bit.
I watched the finals in the NBA.
Yeah, and the playoffs, I got to admit, I watched the playoffs the other night, and the scores have come down a lot. They're actually playing, I don't know if they're playing better defense or just everybody's tight.
They're actually playing defense. See, during the regular season, they don't play much defense.
So not better defense, just defense.
Correct.
I love it when LeBron gets whipped.
Oh, my goodness.
I know that's Goody's boy.
I wish I had the capability of being able to punch up something on my iPad and throw it right in while we're talking about it on our YouTube channel. Say hello to YouTube and all that world out there. The world out there. Because that last one I've seen about all those flops he did.
Yeah.
It's like one was his own player, just barely flipped. He falls out. They get a technical on the other team.
It's starting to look like soccer, isn't it?
Worse.
It's
snipers.
It's pretty bad.
Worse. I've seen some soccer tackles I probably would have laid down too. I probably would have stayed right there because I'd have been hurting. All right, before we go any further, we want to thank our fine sponsors. Sports Talk is powered by the law office of John Drew Warlick, our buddy Bob Warlick and his dad. Aren't they great?
They're awesome.
Rock Creek Golf and Country Club, Ricky Morton and the gang.
There you go.
They're awesome too. Golden Corral, of course, Billy Sewell. Love Billy. Love Golden Corral. Maybe we could do it live there one morning on a Friday morning and hit that buffet while we're eating. Shut up. You knew where I was going with that.
You knew where I was going.
It's like I've already gone too much.
You worked that really good when you said buffet.
Joe Zonzo, EMC, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative, Steve Goodson, all the great folks over there, Marion Gerganis, people that have been there 100 years. Joe Zonzo must be a great place to work because nobody ever leaves. They don't retire from there.
Mr. Clark did.
They love it. Mr. Clark?
Yeah. Mr. Clark?
Yeah, he retired.
Now that's not. There's two Jeff Clarks, right?
There's one. Yeah, that one. The other Jeffrey's at the bank.
I do want to give a big shout out to. They had big Marine Federal Credit Union tournament. You played in it, didn't you, Dave?
Nope.
You didn't play that one.
I did.
Out at Bear Trail this past week.
I wasn't invited.
Were you there for that?
Yeah.
You must play in the afternoon flight.
Afternoon.
I was there in the morning.
I came in third.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
So is it individual or is it turn? Your team
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did they flight the teams at all, or just straight up
just
win?
straight up.
Okay. That is a great tournament they put on there.
That one and the Jones Onslow. Jones Onslow's coming up,
get
and that's
that
a
one,
big one too. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. It's tight.
It pretty tight? I think we know a fellow over there. We'll see if he can't slide us in some.
Yeah.
All right, and Barnes Diamond Gallery, Lindsay Jarman in the crowd. I'm trying to give everybody a little extra oomph today.
Oh.
Mention some names if I know them. National Dodge, Chrysler Jeep Ram. Do we know anybody in National Dodge?
I think there's a guy.
Yeah, Harry Brown.
Yeah.
Could have possibly, Harry possibly could have been our next governor. He was that high up in the Senate. Did so many great things for Onzo in the area. I think Lisa, though, said it was time to retire. So Harry's, Harry and Lisa at the beach. Thank you, Harry Brown, for all you do. Bayshore Animal Hospital, Dr. Gina Francis, their new location, Irv, if you get a rash or something, their new location is 623 East Sabiston Drive in Swansboro. Go over there and they'll give you some dog cream or something to put on it and clean you right up. Irv Dog,
Irv Dog, I get it. I get it.
Bartley Insurance Services, Bill Mercer. Bill Mercer does a great job. Need some insurance, call Bill. If you don't need insurance, don't call Bill because Bill will sell you some insurance. Lane Associates Family Dentistry. I don't know any of the folks there in particular, but I do know that Lane Associates is the official dentistry of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So maybe they farm it out after the end of the year to put Brett Burns' teeth back in and stuff. Send them down here to the office here. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, of course. This is the time of the year you got to go and get your pipes cleaned, if you know what I mean. You know, your vents and everything, all the dust and mold and everything. Get the new units. Have you turned on your air conditioner yet? Either one of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
obviously.
yeah.
So there's nothing worse than flipping that switch from heat to air and nothing.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing worse is August 12th when it's 757 degrees and they're not working. But call Humphrey Heating and Air. They can fix it for you. Southern Touch Painting. We know a fellow over there too, don't we?
I do.
We do.
Roger.
Roger.
You played with Roger in the FCA tournament, didn't you?
We did.
Y'all won that thing.
We
didn't
won
you?
first place.
Look at him.
It just comes.
He's just a man about town.
Just comes natural. That's why they put me on their team.
I'm going to be nice.
At least, hold on.
Just hold on.
At least they didn't hold on to the scorecard till all the rest of them come in and then turn it in.
No.
No.
They did get a hole in one on a par 5, though.
Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
but we actually got. Most teams got a 2 on that anyway, though.
If
If you let the dude hit your driver,
They beat us by 1 stroke.
well, the reason we got a 2 is because of a throw. So our second shot was right up there, which technically is your first shot.
Right.
Rainer,
Right.
I understand.
We got
But they got a hole in one.
Hole in one on
And
par
and they
five.
did,
Minus
and they didn't win the trip.
Well, they couldn't.
We didn't. Yeah, we didn't have a hole in
Yeah,
one.
they'd have to actually get the hole in one. They have to hold it out from the fairway to get the trip. The hole in one was okay. I understand.
And
what
they
you're
didn't
saying
use
there.
the throw either.
Right. I know.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
Okay.
And all that
It was a
money goes to a
donation.
great cause at the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I know where you're going, but I'm not going to bite.
I've never seen that happen before, buddies.
We want to thank Helen's Kitchen. Billy Grissom met him down in the parking lot bright and early. He's got to get back and keep making some breakfast on Friday mornings. But I told him every now and then we want a cheeseburger. And I knew y'all were coming today.
Got some
So
cheeseburgers.
if y'all are good with cheeseburgers, we got cheeseburgers today.
I don't mind a cheeseburger for breakfast.
I have cheeseburger 24/7.
Well,
Which, shut up.
Wimpy.
Here you're putting your foot in your mouth, buddy. Keep
I put
on.
more than that in my mouth. I put in
Yes,
burgers
you
and pizza. That's my problem. Hurricane Watch is sponsored by Downey's Heating Air, Jason Humphrey, the boys. One more time, shout out to Jason Humphrey and him. His father just passed away. Same thing with Steve, lost his father. Both of those were 2 patriarchs in the community. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Mr. Tommy
100%.
and Steve's, I'm at a loss, his dad's first name.
Mr.
Goodson. Yes, they were just ones that have been around for a long time, and we appreciate the families. Our condolences once again with the families as y'all move on with your lives and everything. Hopefully, Steve will pop in here shortly. Now that he's heard there's cheeseburgers, he might pop in. You can find On Demand Sports Talk podcast at WSB971.com. Once again, we're on the YouTube channel. Have y'all checked out the YouTube channel since we've been doing it?
I have not.
I
A
didn't
lot
know you had
easier.
it.
You go right to YouTube and type in YouTube at WSME Radio, and bam, there it is. And you can always find everything off the website, freedom971.com. Hollywood, you want to add anything? Oh, Hollywood's eating. Hollywood's already in the
He's eating a
cheeseburgers.
cheeseburger.
Okay. We'll get Hollywood later.
He's mashing.
We got This Day in Sports, NFL Draft, NBA playoffs. What's going on in the soccer world right now? Obviously, with you're done, but the ladies' soccer, obviously high school soccer. Is it college soccer season? Which one is it now? It's not.
No.
Both of those are in the fall?
Yes.
Men's and women's.
Uh-huh.
All right. How about the Courage? They're playing now, aren't they?
They are. I haven't really been keeping up.
Somebody told me they went to a game the other night. That's why I'm
And MLS has just kind of started their season, so it's
Major
still
League Soccer.
correct. And then, of course, the European leagues are all getting ready to wrap up here shortly.
What was the old soccer name? Was it NASA?
You mean the North American Soccer League?
NASL, yeah.
Yes.
NASA's the
NASA.
National Aeronautic and Space
Correct.
Administration. They're the people that fly over you.
Yep.
So the old NASL, how long ago has that been since that was in existence?
So that was late 70s and early 80s because
Pele time.
Pele.
I used to go every Saturday night when the Fort Lauderdale Strikers had a home game in Lockhart Stadium.
Really?
We were there watching games.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
Day Bill or loose in Fort Lauderdale in the evenings. I can only imagine.
Good times.
How old were you back then?
High school age, I was
Okay.
anywhere from 14 to 18.
Wow.
And we used to have a good time.
New York Cosmos. That's who Pele played for, wasn't it?
Correct.
The Cosmos.
Yep.
Is there still a Cosmos team?
Maybe one of the minor leagues because they played a couple years ago when the FA Cup, not the FA Cup, the Lamar Hunt Trophy, which brings amateur league, professional league.
Even though he's an NFL guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Which obviously, I think Dave Tepper's trying to follow him, by the way. He's trying to get into the soccer. which
Well,
he is.
He's having a little more success with his soccer program than he is with his football.
He can't do any worse with the football. So
Well, that's
here's
possible.
the way we're going to cover the NFL draft today. We're going to talk only. I mean, I'm a Panthers fan. It's my show.
We're going to talk about the draft.
The
pick
only thing
last
we're going
night?
to talk about is the first round draft pick for the Carolina Panthers.
All right, go.
And that's
All
all
right.
I got to say about that.
Good job.
I mean, that dude has just run the team in the ground. We don't even have a first round pick. I mean, so I didn't even get into it this year because
So you're looking forward to tonight,
the
second round.
Oh yeah, we actually get a pick.
Yes.
That's right. So we're not going to talk anymore about the first round.
Okay.
That's all. As Forrest Gump would say, that's all I got to say about that. All right, let's talk about some stuff that is going on.
All right.
Let's just get this out. Well, let's get out of the way in case Steve does pop in. Major League Baseball. Who's your team, Irv? You got a team?
Well, I like the Cubs, actually.
Really?
And I like the Braves.
I love the Braves. Braves are doing good. How about you there, Sparky?
Well, as a kid, I was kind of, in the 70s, it was all about Pittsburgh Pirates. We are family. So I kind of always pull for Pirates a little bit. And I had an aunt that was a Red Sox fan back in the 70s with Yastrzemski and Fisk and those guys. And so.
Did she live in Boston?
No, but she was from Massachusetts. And, of course, I always check to see how bad my Marlins are doing. And they're not doing very well.
So they're your team from Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pull for them, but there's not a lot of hope.
Only team? No, they're still the Rays. Tampa Rays, right?
Yeah.
So there's still two teams.
Which
from
one?
Florida.
Which one of those stadiums has the big aquarium?
You're thinking of the Jaguars football.
Am I?
Jaguars have a swimming pool.
Well, one of them's got an aquarium. We're used to.
I don't know
It
about
could
that.
be Miami. I haven't been to the Miami baseball game.
Now, Miami used to have a dolphin named Snowflake. They would swim around in the pool until they got kidnapped. And then they kidnapped Dan Marino. I seen a movie about a documentary one time about it. And they hired this pet detective to go find Snowflake, and he found Marino and got him back in time for the Super Bowl. It's a great documentary. If you ever get a chance to check it out. All right, leading the league. Let's see. Looks like the Braves have the best record in the majors. I knew that, but I didn't know who was second. See if y'all can guess who's second. I think Jimi Hendrix just came in.
I don't know. I'm just going to guess the Dodgers since, they've got
No, they're 15-11. They're down a
Wow.
little bit. Looks like the next best record is the Yankees at 680. Could you imagine a Yankees? Yankees Dodgers World Series would be phenomenal just because they're two of the long-standing teams. But Yankees and Braves, I could live with that as a World Series.
Yeah.
Other division leaders, the Yankees, of course, are leading the East. Now, I take this back. Baltimore's 0.5 or a half a game back, so they're right there with them. The Orioles are doing well. A lot of people around here used to be Orioles fans.
It's too early.
Yeah, true.
You really don't start looking at all
Yeah.
that until after All-Star break and teams start making a move.
And you wouldn't believe this until I tell you. In the Central Division, the Cleveland Indians are leading the division.
That would be the Guardians.
Guardians.
The what?
The Guardians.
Now, I haven't been around baseball in a while. Did I miss something?
Yeah.
About 2 years ago, maybe.
Like the Commanders in the NFL.
Redskins.
And we now have
The Redskins.
We now have the Guardians.
Oh my
in
goodness!
baseball.
I actually did know that. And have you heard the story about why they're called the Guardians?
Yeah, because it's got Indians in it.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Well, supposedly every bridge in Cleveland, all those bridges that go out of that spoke there from the stadium and downtown, has a statue they call a guardian. I don't know if it's a Native American statue or whatever, but they're called guardians of the bridges, and that's why they call them the Guardians. And I mean, that team's had a rich history. I remember another documentary one time where they were like last place. It was almost like the Carolina Panthers. The owner was trying to get them moved to Florida or something like that. Remember that documentary?
Yes.
And they were last place, and
Yep.
then next thing you know, they came up and won the division and beat
Wild Thing.
the Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ricky Vaughn was picking.
Yep.
for them.
Ricky Vaughn.
Great time for the Indians. Now they're the Guardians, apparently.
Correct.
Texas Rangers at 13-12 are leading the West.
They got a really cool stadium.
Oh, I imagine. Arlington?
Yeah, it's,
the
really- it's
ballpark
right
in
across
Arlington.
from Dallas's stadium. It's pretty cool.
Oh, they're right there together?
Yeah.
So it's right there near the Palace at Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the Braves leading by 3 games in the East, NL East. You got the Central is Milwaukee. That's an Indian name, by the way. I learned that from Alice Cooper in Wayne's World, the Milwaukee Indians. They're leading your Cubs by 0.5, by half a game. How about that? The Cubs are in second place,
Hey,
15-9.
Cubs are, yeah.
You ever been to Wrigley Stadium?
I have. Wrigley Field, yes. I went up there with several guys, and one decided one had to go on. He went on back early. Then I had 2 buddies up there with me that wanted to go see Tottenhopper. What was the name of the?
Actually, it was West Ham.
Was it West Ham?
It was West Ham.
What's that Hottentopper one?
Tottenham.
Yeah,
This is
So it's
one
West
of those
Ham.
trips that I wasn't invited to.
Oh, no.
Remember those trips?
You were
Everybody
invited,
has
but
trips,
chose
but
you either A, chose not to go.
Never asked Mike to go.
Secondly, we're
That's
told
okay,
you couldn't
big guy.
go.
Correct.
Probably
Or
couldn't.
D, a combination of the two.
Yeah, probably both.
Or D, you just wanted to hold it over our heads forever that you weren't invited, which you were.
Yeah.
It was a great trip,
I'm
too.
sure it was.
We're
All
going
y'all's- your
to elaborate
trips
on that
are great.
trip a little bit. Let's see. I got to do a tour of Wrigley Field. They got to go to the West Ham bar and watch the West Ham game was actually on, wasn't it?
It was.
At the time.
What's that?
It's soccer.
Soccer. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they really enjoyed that. We went to one of the bucket list places, Notre Dame, saw a ball game, saw Carolina lose to Notre Dame.
That trip.
Had a really good chance of winning and blew it there at the end.
That trip.
Saw touchdown Jesus right there in the end zone and everything. But by far, I think the most enjoyable part of the trip, or the most memorable part of the trip, well, one was the guy trying to sell us cocaine on the streets.
Nice.
The second one was
Cocaine.
Steve Goodson assaulting a toll booth.
Two of them.
On the Chicago
Two of
bypass freeway there. It would not work. Everything he did with that fast pass went through, except it would not open that gate. And when he started striking it profusely, how did we ever get through there?
Some guy came out of one of the other booths and opened it up
He
for
said,
us.
"Look, please, man, if you just stop tearing my stuff up, we'll let you go."
God. That's why I don't go on these trips.
Oh, then we're bar hopping in Chicago. You know, drinking water
were
and
drinking.
and soda club, soda water and all that
Soda.
stuff. Club soda.
Yeah.
And we're walking down the street, and this very well dressed, distinguished looking man walks up to us and goes, flashes his cut open cocaine, and he has cocaine hanging in his jacket.
Nice.
Yes.
How much did y'all buy?
We told
Nope.
him no.
You didn't. Oh, come
Nope.
on, man.
Nope. That was right before I almost got arrested by Chicago PD.
For trespassing.
I didn't know it at the time,
Hey,
but yeah, apparently
Canes
you can't
just
go
scored.
into a hotel and pee in Chicago. All right, the Canes scored their first goal. We're going to take care of our first break. We'll be right back. Point. Hey, welcome back to Sports Talk. I'm your host, Chris Trainer, co-host Michael Ervin today. Do you like Michael or Mike?
I just go by Mike.
Irv Dog.
Or Irv.
Co-host Irv
Most
Dog.
is just Irv.
Co-host
Or whatever.
Dave Miller, Santa Claus. What's the other one?
I don't know.
Bully.
The dude, the old
Bully.
dude. Not old dude. The dude that was in the TV show.
Grizzly Adams?
Grizzly Adams, yes. You got it all going on. You're rocking the look, man.
Trying.
Thank y'all for being co-hosts today. We're kind of hitting every sport known to man today. We already covered the first round pick of the Carolina Panthers last night, which was non-existent. We've covered a little baseball, pro baseball. Let's cover some high school baseball. How's it going? How the Cards doing in high school baseball?
Not very well.
Well, apparently they were 0-10, got in the touchdown tournament, and beat a Southwest team, which I thought was going to have a really good year. And they've had a good year. They just haven't had exceeded expectations. So what have they done since the Easter tournament, the Cards?
They've beaten Northside.
Okay. Northside has baseball.
Yes.
Okay. Because I know they were struggling too.
Mhm.
Okay.
They got a JV team too.
Northside,
Northside, yeah.
Wow. Well, that's the start of the finish. That's the start of getting things correct.
Start somewhere.
Yeah, getting it going. Who's the dog in the county? Well, I understand it's Swansboro, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think they're doing really well. I don't know what you got going on.
I don't know what that is.
It's got to be one of yours.
No, Swansboro. Yeah, I mean they've beaten us earlier in the year, and they won the holiday or the spring break tournament.
Dixon usually has a good team too.
Dixon's usually decent.
Yeah.
Have we played them or do we play
Have
them?
not.
So they're all in that same conference though.
Right.
Dixon. I think White Oak is kind of middle of the pack. A little here, a little there. Not
No,
good.
No.
Okay, never mind. Sorry. Who else we got in that from the county? Is that the only three? Richlands, and I don't think they're
not doing
got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Southwest in the East Central is second place
Okay.
to North Lenore, who apparently is pretty kicking this year. They're like 10-0 in the conference.
They must have some pitching.
18-3 they do, and it's
Yeah.
several of them. We had Rookie Davis in here about 2 or 3 weeks ago, right before the Hall of Fame ceremony, to talk about Jack Brown and everything. And Rookie, back when that team went, remember the Dixon teams that were so great and went to the state championship a couple years or 1 year and lost in the state championship. They had that dog pitcher, but I think North Lenore has just got like 2 or 3 like that.
Yeah, you've got to, in order to have a long run in baseball, you've got to have more than 2 pitchers.
Yeah.
Especially when the playoffs start, and really when it gets to that final 3-game series, if you make it to the state championship, you can't pitch the ace every game.
No, and plus now they've got pitch counts. So depending on how many pitches you throw, it depends on how many days rest you can have before you can pitch again. So it's there's a little bit more into it these days than back in the day when you could ride your horse.
Well, I had gambling is legal in North Carolina now, and so I went on a couple of them like FanDuel and DraftKings and did a little bit with where you
Probably
basically
all
give them $10 and get $250 in free bets,
right? Which
ought to tell you what the odds are like of you actually winning money if they're willing to give you that much. So one of the ones I did was I finished it up yesterday. It was a game,
you were betting on high school baseball?
No, it was pro.
Okay,
but it was
come on, Pete.
Whether it was the first 5 innings, how many runs we scored, and I saw something nobody I've ever seen. They had a different pitcher for each inning in Major League Baseball. Like a guy pitched 1 inning. They call it a bullpen game now. You don't just have the starters going 8, 9 innings. You have guys coming in every inning now.
Right.
Baseball has totally changed the direction they're going in. Like you said, in high school, it's even more so because they do have the pitch counts.
Right. Well, and if you look at kids that might be an ace pitcher in high school, when they get to college, they're a middle reliever. They're coming in pitching anywhere between the 4th and the 7th inning, and they might only pitch 1 inning. They might only get 2 batters. So it's crazy all the analytics that go into baseball these days.
Yeah, it's a whole different game. I don't think any of them. We talked about it last week, or when Rookie was in here. I don't think any pitcher in Major Leagues will touch some of the Nolan Ryan records because they just not going to pitch as much.
Correct.
Now I am going to try here. I got a link from Chris Miller on some of the players that have done really well in baseball. As long as it's not, I haven't had my 3 articles for the month, which it appears to be working. So let's give a shout out to some of these players. Bryson Ponsock from Dixon. He's batting .356 with 16 runs and 13 RBIs, 3 doubles and 10 steals. Luke Vincent, he's hitting .306 with 15 runs, 8 RBIs. Seth Vincent, I'm assuming we're going in alphabetical order for Dixon, on down here. He's 2-1 on the mound with a 1.112 ERA. That's Dave Miller numbers there.
No.
Did you play baseball in high school?
I didn't play for the high school team. I did play out in town. I played Babe Ruth League, Little League. So because soccer always overlapped baseball tryouts and never really got a chance to try out for baseball.
What about you, Irv? Baseball?
I played football and golf.
Football and golf. I thought you were a soccer star too.
No.
he dabbled that in his adult life.
Yeah, I was good enough that I played in an adult league.
Well, we had a rousing discussion at the Hall of Fame ceremony. By the way, all the great inductees in the Hall of Fame. Let's see. Who did we have? Who were the 2 soccer ladies?
You had Stephanie Rose from White Oak, and you had Amanda Duffy from Dixon.
Right. The 2 White Oak teams. We had those guys in here, Louis Meadows and Melvin Meadows. You talk about a couple.
I worked with Melvin at Jacksonville High School. Melvin is an awesome guy.
Oh my God, they just
He's
taught you
great.
to let them go, and they were good. They're the 78-79 undefeated White Oak teams. Jack Brown we already talked about, and then I wanted to get him on the show list today, but I think
is he still giving a speech?
He's still over at Sturgeon City giving that acceptance speech. Our buddy, Tony Marsford, he forevermore shelled down the corner now. He got up there and said, I have 9 pages of stuff, and everybody laughed.
I think it was 90.
It was more than 9. Yeah, at least 9.
I didn't know he had that many relatives either.
don't think Marcel, Raynell, WL, Linnell, Odell, Claude, Nugent, and Clovis. All right, getting on to some of the other ones left. Caden Cox from Jacksonville. He's a freshman, batting .333.
Yep.
10 runs, 6 RBIs, 2 doubles, 1 triple, and 7 steals. Mason Meyer, he's a senior. You hate to lose him. .349 with 16 runs, 13 RBIs, 6 doubles. He also has 24 strikeouts in 23 innings. Julian Rojas, I'm assuming that's coach's relative son. He's a senior also. Now, does that mean is he his only son on the team?
Yes.
Coach Rojas? Is he going to come back though after his son
We
finishes?
hope so.
Okay, I mean,
He does a good job.
Well, I mean, obviously you never know with with the
Right.
kid being there,
We don't. I mean, as far as I know, he's planning on coming back.
We've had some before that coached, and then as soon as their son left, they went to follow him in college or something like that. But his son Julian is hitting .353 with 19 runs, 9 RBIs, 2 doubles, 1 home run, and 6 steals. Dalton Ship, senior, batting .361, 5 RBIs, 2 runs, 3 doubles, and a triple. Vasco Sutton, everybody's batting over 300 here. What's going on there?
Mm-hmm.
Pitching, or lack thereof.
Pitching and
no, not in our conference.
Okay. Vasco Sutton, he's a sophomore, so you'll have him back too. .314 with 10 runs, 8 RBIs, 8 doubles, and 5 steals. Hey, there's a Northside guy hitting .385. He's a sophomore.
Good.
Peyton Mayhew. You got Walker Smith from Richlands, 291 earned run average, 21 strikeouts. Hayden Turner, Richlands, he's hitting .438. Wow. That's like softball numbers right there.
that's good stuff.
Yeah. 17 runs, 5 RBIs. Chase Bryan, otherwise known as Bubba. Bubba's hitting .480. That is softball numbers. That's slow pitch softball numbers. He's hitting .480 with 13 runs, 12 RBIs, and 6 doubles, and 2 home runs. Carter Dudley is batting .406 with 17 RBIs, 10 runs, 3 doubles, and a home run. Jonathan Pittman, he's a sophomore. Really excited about this kid because he plays every sport. He's just a good one of them athletes that you can see, hopefully leading a crop of his teammates somewhere. He's one of them leaders like that. Sophomore batting .359, 10 runs, 10 RBIs. Tyler Randolph is hitting .310 with 15 runs. Deontay Roberts, .478 with 13 runs. Nick Sanders, .382 with 16 RBIs. And Tate Whitehead, .391. Remember last year though, he was about like 600 or something.
That dude that plays quarterback for Southwest.
Not Tate.
That was his brother.
Brother. That's right.
But Tate, and everybody knew it'd be hard to follow up that sophomore year hitting 600, but still .391 with 22 RBIs. And then you got a whole gaggle of Swansburg guys. I don't know if I can mention all of them. There's so many of them, but we got to. Nick Keone's hitting .312. Joshua Scott hitting .324. Patrick Holyfield, he's sophomore 4-2 on the mound with a .56 earned run average, 39 strikeouts in 25 innings. So there's their pitching right there. Then you got Rusty Haswell, the senior's batting .390, and Ryan Brinkley, the senior, is 1.81 ERA with 41 strikeouts in 27 innings. That's Michael Ervin numbers right there.
Yes.
You'd had that many kind of strikeouts.
There's a good chance of it.
Let's see. Chris Miller might text me right now.
How's Northside? Have they
Baseball?
won a game?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I haven't really looked at
Not that I've
records.
heard. All right, now that covers baseball to the T. Tell us a little bit about how the ladies' soccer is going on.
Soccer is tied for first in the conference. They tied Conley. Yep, they tied Conley the other night. Conley's a 4A, so right now we're in the lead for the 3A top spot for the playoffs.
So you tied Conley in the game or just
in the game?
In the average?
And they're tied, I think, with the record too as well.
Now, it wasn't a 0-0 tie, was it?
It was a 0-0 tie.
How many more games they got left in the regular season?
Ain't many.
4. They got 2 weeks left.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, they might have 5 because we haven't played South Central yet. So they've got 5 games. I think we got South Central twice, Northside once, and then we finish up with Rose and Conley.
So Conley might be the game to decide the
conference championship.
Overall conference championship.
Correct.
Even though obviously
we got some other games we got to play, but that's going to be a big one. That's the last game of the regular season.
So if you're the number 1 seed in 3A, whether you win the over Conley or not, you'd still be the number 1 seed in 3A.
No,
you wouldn't.
No, we're 2 or 3 depending on what time of the day it is with.
I mean, in your conference.
Yeah,
you'd be the 1 seed out of your conference. Yes. So that should guarantee you, if you're the 1 seed, 2 home games. You would think
probably 3,
at least 2. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Depending on how the upsets play out. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. Any other ones how the Vikings are doing or anything? Swansboro.
No, I really haven't really followed a whole lot.
You know Miss Shelby Foster, of course, coaching at Southwest. She's doing pretty good with them. I think she's got them tied with East Duplin.
That's good.
And they'll play East Duplin Tuesday for all the marbles, from what I understand. So anything else going on in high school sports we want to talk about before we switch gears a little bit?
Lacrosse, not that everybody has lacrosse in the county, but regular season wraps up. We'll find out Monday for lacrosse playoffs whether our teams are in or out. So that seeding will take place Monday. And then, of course, girls softball's rolling too.
Well, we want to give a shout out to all those athletes. I'm going to try and get some more names, and especially some of the ones as the final season stuff comes up, like the leaders in the county, things like that. I'll get with Chris Miller and try and get that together for the next couple of weeks as the seasons wind up. Teams going to the playoffs. Congratulations to the ones that will be going. We won't know for another, couple of weeks though, right?
Yeah. So like I said, lacrosse is Monday. I think next week is baseball's the last week.
Yeah.
And then soccer's got one more week after that. So it'll start wrapping up over the next 2 weeks.
Well, let's take an awkward segue because I don't know any other way to do it. To NASCAR. You guys are big NASCAR fans.
No.
I mean, I've watched it.
Have you been to a NASCAR race before?
Yeah.
Have you?
Have not.
Oh, it's awesome in person.
Yeah.
It's a lot more. It's like hockey. It's a lot more entertaining in person.
I like the one in used to be in South Carolina,
Darlington.
Oh, Darlington.
I love that place.
Darlington, you kind of step back in time. They got the old country store right there at the track. You're going down an old dirt road, or not dirt roads, but old roads, getting to it. Looks like a dinosaur would come piling out of the woods. That's how far back in time you are. Just old school. And another one like that is Talladega. You ever been to Talladega, Alabama?
I have not, but I would love to go
Not
there.
the track, not so much the track, but have you ever been to that part of Alabama?
No, I'm sure y'all have on your trips, hadn't you?
I went one time. Mike Leary took us. Rick Humphrey was vice president of Talladega Speedway at the time.
Okay.
So we got to hook up.
Yeah.
We got on a 38 Specials tour bus with them. They were doing the Saturday concert. Got some parts for Junior's car.
Okay.
They got these things they put on the front, these air dam things that are like plastic pieces that get it a little further down so the car's not scrubbing. So it scrubs the plastic piece, and that's disposable. They throw them in the trash. So I go there and start getting them. And I thought everybody was going to go nuts. I mean, everybody with me say, well, what are you doing? I'm getting trashed out of the trash. It's part of a race car. And it's up, still hanging on my man cave wall, But it's funny because I got 4 or 5 of them.
Did you get it signed?
No. It was black. It would be hard to do then. I don't even think they had the
silver. Oh, they didn't have the silver Sharpies yet? Okay.
This was back probably mid-90s.
I had white out.
Maybe.
He's white out.
Well, I mean, how do you – is it got his number on it or anything like that? I mean –
No, but I knew it was on his car because I saw him take it off.
I mean, I know you did, but I mean, if somebody else saw it, they wouldn't know whose it is.
There's 2
like,
people I care about their opinion.
Oh,
both of them me. So that's all that matters.
Okay.
I knew it was from his
Okay.
car. So, but here's the whole point. They made fun of me for doing it.
Right.
But as we're riding home from Talladega, they all wanted one of them. You know what I mean? So I ended up giving.
Did you sell them?
To no, I gave them to my brother.
Oh, you were nice.
Well, Mike hooked us up with the trip. I had to do something.
Yeah.
Is that one of the places they froze there?
No.
Okay, good. Because I've been to the dermatologist. I look like I've been in World War III. They've stuck me and gouged me. And anyway, people, take care of your skin because put on some sunblock because the dermatologist is not a fun place to spend more than 5 minutes.
Nope.
You have to go. The race this weekend, though, in case you didn't catch it, was at Talladega. It was one of those basic Talladega races where if you're leading at the end of the start of the last lap, you're in the wrong place.
Yep.
Because you get rooted out. And the guy that I had actually picked to win, too, ended up going from 1st to 27th in about as far from here to Newbridge Elementary over there, or Newbridge Middle School over there. And Tyler Reddick won with a Toyota. Do you know what is kind of odd about Tyler Reddick or kind of cool about Tyler Reddick? You know who his car owner is?
Yeah, Jordan.
Jordan.
The 45 car. It's a cool looking car.
And
too.
apparently, yeah, it's a lot like his airplane. You ever seen his airplane before?
Mm-hmm.
You ever been on his airplane?
Twice.
Well, I had been on his airplane. I saw it at Beaufort Landing Field though when they had the big rock though. But the car looks like that. Tyler, apparently they've won before, or Jordan's teams have won before, but never while he was there. He was actually there. So it's so funny because you got this guy has won the race, Tyler Reddick. All of them are little fellers now. They're none of them like, Dale Jarrett 6'8" and Richard Petty 6'4" anymore. So Reddick starts climbing up, gets the flag and everything, doing all this thing, doing his burnouts. You know what his kid was doing?
And Michael Jordan.
High five with Michael Jordan holding.
And I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
He's
So
still a big guy, isn't he?
Who, Jordan?
Jordan. God.
Yeah, you don't really shrink your height.
Ooh, well, sometimes you do.
And plus, most of us tend to fill out
Yes.
as we get older.
Yes.
So that's the NASCAR world. We start hitting that a little bit every week. We got our second goal, which means that what's getting ready to break loose in PNC. We're going to cover that when we come back with the Hurricanes Report. Welcome back to Sports Talk. You heard the Scorpions there, so that means we're rocking it like a hurricane, which means the Hurricanes are rocking it like a hurricane. It's playoff time. Hockey started in what? Last May, I think.
Close to it.
Just about seemed like it. And you go through all this to get to the playoffs. Same thing with the NBA, don't you think?
Too long.
A lot of people, aren't
Baseball
NBA fans,
too.
but they might tune in, for the NBA playoffs. Now, baseball, last year, oddly enough, baseball and hockey were a lot alike because a lot of the big conference winners lost first round. Yeah. The Bruins, best team in the hockey last year, did all those moves, the trade deadline, were rolling, coming to playoffs. Next thing you know, they're out first round. The Dodgers, all those teams in baseball, all 4 division winners went out first round. That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
All the top 4, the ones that had the buys and stuff, because 2 of them end up playing. So I think in baseball, there's something to be said for keeping playing.
Correct.
All right, back to hockey. Probably hockey too. But I can see hockey wanting to have them fresh legs for the playoffs. Now, talking about the Hurricanes, their goaltender is Freddie Anderson. Freddie Anderson, he was out almost the first, at least half the season with a blood clot issue. That's all they would tell you. It's almost like that has rejuvenated, where his legs and stuff are better, his energy level is better for the second half. He didn't go through that whole war the whole season. You ever had a player like that come back to you late in the year or something, and it's almost like they're, refreshed more, or any other sport you like or something?
Yeah, I mean, it happens. They're not war beaten.
Yeah.
Come back fresh, like you said, and it helps.
Not battle tested.
Correct.
So back on, let's see, it was last Saturday, and I got to go. 5 o'clock puck drop in Raleigh. So we got out there in the parking lot in the afternoon in the hot sun and marinated all afternoon and had a good time. You've been to games before. You know how much fun it can be. Yeah. Canes come out. It wasn't
drink a little
bit
of Canadian water.
Yeah. Canadian Mist and Mountain Dew. You call it Canadian Dew or Mountain Mist. Yeah. So that game wasn't. It wasn't a barn burner, but they won 3-1. Never really, I thought, in doubt of losing it, but it just wasn't over.
It was sloppy.
Yeah, just a sloppy game. First round playoffs, just kind of going through the motions, getting that one out of the way. So then the Canes roll into Monday night. And that's the main focus of our talk here about the Canes. That game was epic.
Yes,
what did you
was.
think about it, Irv?
Well, I never gave up. I watched it all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And it was great when they came back. Never expected that third and the fourth goal.
And the fifth.
And the fifth.
Well,
the fifth was open.
We'll get to the fifth one in a minute because that kind of there's a way you're not supposed to do it on an open. Right. Anyway, we'll cover that in a minute. Let's go step by step. Canes are down 3-0 in the middle of the second period.
But to me, they were the better team, even though they were down because all 3 goals
they controlled everything.
Were against the run, like we call it, it's against the run of play. Yeah. It just and. It was one of those games where it's just not. It's not their night. They're hitting the post, they're hitting the crossbar. Guys are getting in the way, but they're totally dominating the game.
If you've never been to a hockey game, when they hit the post, it's unmistakable. It sounds like the old bomb bats they used to use in Little League baseball.
Yep.
Or the old ping putters and stuff. And you can actually hear it on TV too.
Yeah.
So they dinged the crossbar to the post 4 times, down 3-0. Just looks like it's one of those games where you're going to outshoot them 3-1 and lose.
Right.
Then all of a sudden they get a goal, catch back a little bit, but nothing still really significant. Going into third period, still would probably 10 or 15 minutes to go before, or 10 minutes to go so before they scored a second goal. So it's 3-2, and then you kind of settle back in. Next thing you know, it's 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go, 2 minutes and 20 or something like that, and they're still down 3-2, and they pulled a goaltender, which gives them an extra attacker if you don't know about that in hockey. So, bam, all of a sudden, Svechnikov they call it like putting it on the tape. He slung that thing through there, put it right on the tape with Sebastian Aho, tipped it in. The place goes nuts.
Yeah.
First of all, just putting a white towel on people's chairs makes them go nuts for some reason. The whole Pittsburgh Steelers terrible towel thing.
Yep.
So that makes it 3-3. There's a great video on our Facebook of you can watch this and what we're about to tell you coming up. I highly encourage you to watch it because it's funny. It shows the what's the name of the bar?
I think it was Borelli's or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. In New York, they were having a New York Islanders watch party, and just the reaction to their fans, especially the young lad in the front. All we can say from down south is bless his heart.
Yep,
because
he was into
shocked. It. Then if you get a chance, look at Cochise over his shoulder there. The dude never breaks stride the whole time. Just his face expressions never change. That shows you the difference between when you get older and younger, I guess. So, all right, to make a long story short, too late. It's 3-2 or 3-2. No, 3-3 at this point. Yeah, Ahu goal makes it 3-3. Have the face off, right after they do after a goal at center ice. It gets thrown down the end, nothing exciting. All of a sudden, Martin Nuke comes up with the puck, flips it around the back, around the corner there, and it's 4-3 like in 9 seconds.
Yep.
Not in 9 seconds real time, but 9 seconds game
playing time.
Yeah, real time was about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And that poor lad on that video looked like you took his dog. Like looked like he was the owner of Old Yeller when they shot Old Yeller.
Look,
they did.
Shot Old Yeller, took his ice cream cone,
and threw it on the ground.
Yep.
And man, he was distraught. Bless his heart. And that was just one of those epic games. And then the Canes ended up scoring. That made it 4-3, put them in the lead. Then they scored on the empty netter we were talking about.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you're in the moment, an empty netter, you're supposed to just flick it in. He wound up and shot it like through the back of the net.
As hard as he can.
And it really ticked the Islanders off because it was kind of like showing them up a little. Like back in the old days when you would stand and watch a home run. Now, players hit home runs, they watch it, they flip bats, they do cartwheels. It's just not baseball anymore. So he basically thought they showed him up, and then the fight started.
Yeah.
It was pretty it was a melee there for a while. As Ashley Mosley would say, his famous joke that I believe he made up himself, actually.
Probably did.
He went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. And so that just goes to show you, I don't care how bad the brakes are beating you. A lot of people may have left with 3 minutes to go. Down
sure
a goal.
Right. Try to beat
beat
traffic.
traffic.
Yep.
So a very famous sportscaster said this. And actually, I made this up. Somebody else may have said it, but I'm going to take credit for it because I thought of it on my own without hearing it somewhere else. If you leave early, you never get the chance to see a miracle finish. Think about that.
Correct.
I mean, chances are you're not going to see it anyway.
It's very deep.
I know.
It's deep.
I'm very deep.
Quam.
The Quan. So back in the NFL playoffs years ago, who was it? The Oilers were beating the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
Beating the crap out of them. Frank Wright comes out. I don't even know if he was the starting quarterback. They might have brought him out as a reserve. I can't remember. Down 35 points in the second half. I'm sure people had gone home. And he leads them back to a win. You never leave or you'll never see that miracle finish. So you ever been to a game like that where something really huge comeback? I mean, obviously plenty of high school games, I'm sure.
Yeah, but
No,
not
like
right
a big college game or something like that.
No, I'm not invited to all those games y'all go to. That's just the way it works out.
Or concerts.
Or concerts.
Concerts, yeah. Toll booth assaults and things like that. Yeah, you don't get to see all that stuff.
I know.
So
Deprived.
Yep.
Big time.
So let's cover the last night. It was game 3 in the series. The Hurricanes took it on the chin, lost that one, but they're up 2-1 going into game 4. That'll be this weekend. So pull for your Canes, and hopefully we can get them back where they should be.
Right.
We'll be right back on Sports Talk. Welcome back to Sports Talk this Friday, April 26th. We're getting ready to hit up this day in sports. All this stuff may have not happened on a Friday, but it happened on April 26th. So April 26th, this day in history, we're just going to do our usual round robin stuff here. I'll start with 1900. Ashley Mosley brought into the world that was in the North County. In 1900, newly renamed American League opener in Cleveland draws 6,500 people. Still is a minor league, was called the Western League. Okay, that's too much to think about.
1912 was the first home run hit at Fenway Park.
Who did that?
Hugh Bradley.
For?
You know Hugh?
Oh, Hugh. You know
Hugh Bradley? Hugh? Yeah, Hugh.
Right. You know Hugh.
Hugh
for the Red Sox. Yeah.
1931, Lou Gehrig hits a home run, but is called out for passing a runner. The state cost him AL home run crown, and he and Babe Ruth tied for the season.
How do you pass a runner on a home run?
He was too fast.
Well, I can see Babe Ruth doing it because, you just come off that all night drunk and, just didn't see the guy. But not Lou Gehrig. All right, in 1941, is that right? Are we good? Okay, 1941, a tradition begins. The first organ at a baseball game. Oh, the
piano. Come on, man.
First organ at a baseball game.
I knew
it was at Chicago Cubs game. You should have heard us talking about the midget cars at the All-American Speedway.
Did y'all
a couple
go to that
weeks
the
ago.
other night?
No, I wanted to. We were already planning on being out of
Junior?
town, but apparently Junior was very accessible. They did a great job out there. Yes, and I think every one of them met Junior and got an autograph. They said he was just great to everybody, the fans. Kudos to the New River All-American Speedway for putting that on, LaVon Vance and all that crowd out there.
Aren't you glad I thought about that?
I am glad. A little shout out.
1952, Patty Berg scores 64. Best competitive round in golf by a woman.
Now, why do you say it that way?
Well, I just wanted to make sure everybody.
What is the lowest round you ever shot?
70 at Morehead City Country Club.
Nice.
And I played with Jason Bell, So you've
never been in the 60s? You've never done 69?
Well, it's par 72, so I was 2 under. So, that's still pretty good.
So
what's the lowest you ever shot, Christopher?
76.
Okay.
That was when I was playing a lot. How about you, Dave?
84.
84.
I'm a bogey golfer.
So you've got a 7. Now, you're playing down around 70 now, aren't you?
I don't play enough.
So
he's not allowed.
Say one
right
day,
now I'm not
and he's not invited.
One day you're playing a lot and you have that magical round. Do you think you could get below 70 and do a 69?
I don't know, man. No, everything's got to be there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I had 9 birdies that day.
You got to have it just right to make that work.
I had 9 birdies that day.
Maybe you can get it one day, then.
No, I'm okay. Smarty.
All right, Dave.
1961, Roger Maris hits first of 61 homers in 1961. It's a lot of 61s.
Yes, and that held out for a long time until the steroid hit.
Correct.
All right, 1983. Oh, there's those words again. NFL draft. Stanford quarterback John Elway was the first pick by the Baltimore Colts. He held his breath and said, "I don't want to play for y'all," and went to the Denver Broncos.
That he did.
Well, he took a little detour.
Yeah,
if you remember.
Yeah, that's true.
1988, NBA approves addition of a third referee.
You know why they did that?
89 season.
You know why they added a third referee, right?
Detroit Pistons.
There wasn't enough people to cuss at, so they had to have more to cuss at.
How many do they have now?
And I'm not joking when I say that, Robert. If Robert Farley, you listen, I'm not saying that as a bad thing to the refs. It's the fans. Fans have gotten very brutal, man.
Terrible.
I mean, a ref's not going to change a call because you're cussing him out, so leave him alone.
1989, Mike Tyson gets a speeding ticket for drag racing his Lamborghini in Albany, New York.
Nice. How would Mike Tyson pronounce Lamborghini?
I'm not even going to try it.
Lamborghini. Hey, he's supposed to be fighting again, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fighting some 67-year-old dude from Pines Rest Home or something.
No,
he's
is it a real dude?
The YouTuber.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, what do you think? Okay, Mike Tyson and the Scottish dude. Remember the dude that
McGregor?
Yeah. What do you think would happen with that one?
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Now, I don't watch many of those pay-per-view things like that, but I did watch that one. I thought McGregor kind of held his own.
Look,
well, when was that?
That was him fighting. What was it, Mayweather or somebody?
But it was kind of one of those exhibitions.
I don't think he's doing.
If you've watched Tyson, any of his training videos, I think he's gonna go after him.
So he's got it back.
Yeah, well, for an old guy, yeah,
true that.
I forget who he's fighting.
Look at this. Tyson, it only takes one punch, man.
That's true.
One punch.
It's
fighting
either Jake Paul or Logan Paul. It's one of the Paul brothers.
He's fighting one of them dudes. It's pretty good.
He's not good.
Speaking of Paul, too, we have Paul's famous hot dogs over there, too, for us, too.
Okay.
To go with our Billy's, our famous Billy Burgers.
All right.
Hey, maybe you got a thing there for him. You tell Billy Burgers. You can also ask Tyson too if one punch from Buster Douglas will put you out.
Do you know where you were that night?
I do. I know exactly where I was. Wrightsville Beach. A bunch of the baseball players down there had a house, and they had gotten a pay per view because back then that was still in the infancy of pay per view.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't. You couldn't go to every one of them. They had gotten the fight.
I was in Yucca Valley, California.
What in the world were you doing in Yucca Valley?
I was 29 Palms, California. My wife actually came out and visited me for that weekend out in Cali, and we're in a hotel room. And it snowed, and it never snows in the desert out there. Wow. Mike Tyson lost, and it snowed that night.
Wow.
Isn't it weird how you remember certain things like that where you were? Yep. Obviously, 97% of the most sporting events I'm on my couch. But for stuff where you're other places, I know you had the Mike Tyson, right?
Y'all travel all over the place.
All right, 1990, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, if not the greatest pitcher of all time. Texas Rangers Nolan Ryan ties Bob Feller's record of pitching 12 one-hitters in a 1-0 win of the Chicago White Sox at Arlington Stadium. So, old boy pitched 7 no-hitters and 12 one-hitters.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty nasty.
Some would say he's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, but back in 92, Ozzie Smith steals his 500th base.
And what was his nickname? Do you remember?
Oh, man.
We're off to see the Wizard of Oz. He was the guy that he kind of had a little bit of a slight bat, but buddy, he in the field, he was a magician. All right, Dave, finish up with that other two words I don't want to hear. In
2018 NFL Draft, Oklahoma quarterback Baker Mayfield, first pick by the Cleveland Browns. 4 quarterbacks taking the top 10 selections for the first time in history.
And once again, that's a Panther connection. He comes to Pantherland. Everybody's like, great, we finally got a decent quarterback. Does nothing and is able to go other places and compete. So,
hey, Chris, I got one more sports history.
Please do.
Enlighten us.
April 26, 1943, John J. Miller was born in New Jersey. He was a 3-time, or I should say a 3-sport all-state player in baseball, basketball, and football.
In New Jersey?
New Jersey. That's my father.
Really?
Yep. And he was disabled. He had no use for his right hand.
So that was his birthday, 1943?
Yep.
My dad's same year.
So
Steve's dad was same year, remember?
It is Jake Paul he's fighting.
All those patriarchs that
he's
same
57 years old.
Yep. Steve Paul?
Jake
Paul's Tyson's 57.
Well, he just said Jake
Paul. Jake Paul's not that old.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Jake Paul. So when is that fight taking place? You might know.
June, I think. End of May, early June.
Summer, yeah.
I think we need to find somebody to get pay-per-view so we can watch it.
I'm down with it. Well, let's go to Steve's place on his 12 screens. We can see it from every angle. They have a camera from behind, the front, the side. Steve has an awesome setup down there in the man cave /
Has he done anything different to it since we've been there?
Well, I don't know. We haven't been there.
Well, I don't know if y'all been there. I mean, y'all were invited. Y'all were like traveling sports guys, you know.
Now here's what I think actually happened.
Roadies.
You know, betting has come legal in North Carolina. He's actually running a little betting house out there.
You think that's what he's doing?
Yeah, he's got a bookmaker, a book buyer, whatever you call it there, on-site betting.
You do realize what's going to happen though.
What?
On these online places you're gambling
you
on,
pay taxes.
You're going to get a 1099.
Yeah, if you win.
Yeah.
So my question is, first of all, though, I just thought of
lose?
something in the middle of this. I do want to thank once again Jason Humphrey and Downey's Heating and Air for sponsoring the Hurricanes Watch. The Hurricanes Warning, we're calling it now that they're in the playoffs, and the Wood Ducks Report. We're going to get more into the Wood Ducks once the Hurricanes are out. But I heard the Wood Ducks are 9-7, so they're doing pretty well. Let's do a game one night.
Okay.
Take the whole group and Ashley and the whole podcast group. We'll merge the two great shows here.
All right. I'll have one request.
That you get free beer.
No. We have to do it on a Thursday night, and I have to take my wife because that was our first time going out together. It was Kinston Indians baseball.
Was it a Thursday night?
It was a Thursday night.
That is Thursday. So sweet.
So I figured we'll take her and we can do a little.
Well, you don't know the date, do you?
Actually, I do.
The year and everything?
Yeah. Because it was May 4th, 1994, because I had just finished up student teaching.
Wow. We could do that.
And I was still coaching at Southwest.
So we might come. We'll see if that happens to be a Thursday this year.
It's not. They're away. I've already checked.
Okay. Dang, he's on the ball. He's trying to get them.
Well, I know they're leaving, so I figured it's 30 years, so I figured it's we should try to go.
You got to do it, buddy. You got to do it.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I know somebody that can pull some strings and we get a little something on the screen or something.
Yeah. We can handle that.
Yeah.
We'll get our old buddy John Clemens.
Perfect.
Last year the Wood Ducks are going to be there unless Spartanburg is dragging, but from everything we've heard, it's on time. So probably last year they'll have the Wood Ducks.
It's Greenville.
That's sad.
Will there be another?
It's Greenville,
Is it
South
Greenville?
Carolina. It's Greenville.
What's Spartanburg?
That's nearby, but I think it's Greenville.
Okay.
Yeah.
So will there be a team there or not?
Yeah.
Not in Kinston.
No.
Oh, it won't.
They'll have the Kinston Wingmen.
So you know what
Which
that means,
is
Irv?
a segue into the Wooden Bat League with the
Look,
Osmonds.
Rainer, I'll invite you both, and this is what we have it on air that Irv can't say he wasn't invited. And we can go to Greenville, South Carolina, and watch the old Wood Ducks play in Greenville.
They'll probably cut that portion out where you just did.
Because there's a really cool place right near the stadium that's all cargo containers and a food court.
In cargo containers.
Yes.
I've been to there.
Irv has been there.
Is it cool?
The one time he was invited to go.
It was an experience, buddy.
It's a shame that Irv is ostracized and put out
I mean,
of
he's
everything.
actually,
He's
no, I'm sorry.
persecuted.
He wasn't invited 2 other times with me to go.
Is Irv persecuted?
Y'all are just
Not at all.
Okay.
Bullies.
All right, I'm gonna you know what school I usually do stuff around, and I'm gonna put this on. It had to be I don't know if it was a coach or an administrator, but somebody put up a sign at the end of one door that says "Do not yank on this door," and underneath it says damage to school property and whatever violators will be persecuted. So.
Did you get persecuted?
I think I'm pretty sure they meant prosecuted, but it says persecuted. And I'm not sure you can do that even if they do break the law. So anyway, I don't know who put that on there, but if you're listening, we'll talk about it later. It's prosecuted. All right. So what else going on in the sports world? I think we're missing something. Are we talking about the NBA? Not really, but
No, I mean playoffs are rolling.
well, this first round is really hard to tell.
Right.
Yeah. The Celtics whooped the crap out of Miami, and then Miami came. Now I say that, but that first game, I don't know if you watched that game.
No.
The Celtics were up like 30 points, and Miami came back to win 6.
How's
And
Dallas?
there were people coming back off the bench. You know,
How's Dallas doing?
the Cowboys, they have
Mavericks.
a Super Bowl since. I don't know.
They're in it.
I can find out.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
What's have y'all watched?
I
any of
do
the
know
games
the
at all?
King and the Lakers blew a 20-point lead.
Yeah,
I do know that
let flop. We call him.
because I've got a kid in class that might like LeBron more than Goody does.
Really?
Yep.
whoa.
Well, looking at the series, what it shows here, it shows Cavs are up on the Magic. The Cleveland Cavaliers are up on the Magic 2-0. Knicks and the Sixers. Knicks are up 2-0. Denver's up 2-0 on the Lakers. Yeah, and then what's the other ones? Because they do it on opposite days. And then the Heat's 1-1 because the Heat did come back and win. They're 1-1 with the Celtics. They did come back and win that second game.
Yep.
Barrage of 3-pointers.
I was asking about Dallas.
Dallas. I don't know. I don't see Dallas. Did they make the playoffs?
I don't know.
They did.
I know they did.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Mavs are up. It's tied 1-1 with the Clippers. The every time I see LAC like that, I think of LA Kings, but it's LA Clippers. Pacers and the Bucks.
What
That's
did he
tied
just say?
1-1, and Minnesota's over the Suns 2-1.
Just let it go.
Southwest.
Yeah, just let it go.
Go ahead.
No, never mind.
See, King starts with a C.
Yeah, King starts with a C.
Oh, does it? Yeah, but I mean, I think
No,
of the
never
LA
mind.
Kings because that used to be the team.
Dude,
It's like the Chargers. You see them as LAC. It just don't compute to have the Chargers in LA.
San Diego.
Yeah, I agree. Just like the
The Chargers
Redskins,
start with a C.
the Redskins in Washington. Maybe that's what I was thinking of there. So, what you want to talk about, Irv? Sports world before we finish up. We're open ended. We can stop anytime. We can talk anytime. Anything else?
How about Scotty Scheffler
I was just getting ready to
tearing
say
up the
that.
golf world?
And not just the Masters. He come out the next week. And most of them don't even play the Hilton Head after
Right.
they win the Masters. He come out and won it.
Yep.
What's
Going
the-
away.
Well, he's getting in as many as he can because his wife's getting ready to have a kid, so his whole life's getting ready to change a little bit.
Well, that, and I guess he's building up his points for the FedEx Cup. Or
Correct.
whatever they call it.
What's the dude, the young guy, the Indian guy, I guess, Shaglia? Is it?
Thagalia?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
Thagalia.
interviewed him.
Rajesh
They
Kutrapali.
interviewed
wasn't
him.
that
I
it?
thought it was really cool. They interviewed him about
He's from
Scotty-
Raleigh.
about Scotty playing so good.
Yeah.
And he was so cool. He's like, I grew up watching Tiger, just watching him. And he's something special. And now I'm watching and able to play with Scotty. And he's talking about how special he
Yeah.
is now, how he's number one and special. But real cool. A lot of,
Yeah.
just nothing critical, just nice, positive.
No, I was thinking. No, I'm not Thagalia. I was thinking about the other kid, the young kid that played.
That's him.
It starts with a B. But he was homeschooled in Raleigh, and a couple tournaments back, he had a really good showing. And his whole story is kind of cool. That homeschooled, played in all the youth tournaments and stuff. opted not to go to college and jumped right in, and he's
Wow.
had some early success.
There's another dude from Raleigh or Greenville that played pretty good 3 or 4 years ago, and I haven't heard anything from him. I can't remember his name.
You're talking about Varner?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually from Gastonia. He went to ECU, played for
That's
ECU.
what it was.
Yeah.
So is he related to the Varner, the old Harry Varner? Not family lineage like Nicholas.
No.
Okay, as far as that.
No lineage.
The golf world, though, obviously it's between Tiger and Jack as greatest of all time. People give different arguments, whatever. But do you see another one coming up? Is Scotty possibly the next one to come up to?
He could
be
but
that dominant for
but
that
we've
period of time?
had a few over the past 10 years that we thought that might be
Yeah.
the next one, and they've all kind of fizzled out.
Duval, remember? Everybody thought Duval
Yep.
was going to be the. I know, but they thought he was going to be the rival for Tiger and then continue it on, and he lost his marbles.
Tiger killed him. I mean, he just mentally abused him.
They would do that battle at Bighorn every year to get abused out there on national TV under the lights, and it just golf's a mental game.
It's mental and the grind. I mean, it's a long season, and
I read too about the Live, how they're cutting their money in half.
Yeah,
so maybe they'll.
Well, the
bottom line is you're only going to pay that much money so long for something that doesn't get watched. Do you ever watch the Live tournament?
Nope.
No, I don't have. It's on what, the CW?
Yes, on
I don't have CW.
Actually get it over the air like you have an antenna.
Right.
Channel one of Channel 3's channels or something like that.
So if I take like an old metal coat hanger,
try it.
Some aluminum foil.
How I used to do it on my old TV growing up.
Aluminum foil and twist it.
Yeah, I'd start with a coaxial cable that would run off of that.
Hey, look, so it's funny you said that. So back in the day, ACC tournament, the Final Four, I would always reserve the TV from the library on the cart.
Yep.
And I would take speaker wire and I would put it in the coax connector and I would rig it up. And
it worked.
Yeah, and the kids knew, 12 o'clock noon, we're putting on CBS or whoever it was, and we're watching.
We didn't have no fancy schmancy cable or anything. You had on Channel 12, and that's what you watched.
Yep.
Now, Ervin, your law enforcement days, have you ever been to the Jones County Jail before? No. Especially the old one, the real old one, the place that looked like Mayberry, basically. It's like you said, there was aluminum foil run everywhere off that one little TV they had. Them guys in there playing poker, and Jones County was a whole different world. So, but I digress. So we were talking about golf, and the next one up will be. I like the way the PGA or the golf world has done, because it's not all PGA, but used to you had the Masters, nothing in May, U.S. Open in June, the Open as they like to call it. I mean, the champion golfer they call him. So. It's not the British Open; it's the Open. They're the champion golfer. You know how Brits are, man. Anyway, so
now how are they, Chris? Tell us how you really feel, and don't hold back.
You ever had bubble and squeak before? Bangers and mash. Anyway,
yes.
And I'll reverse back to food. That's the way I'm getting at it.
I was thinking that, but I wasn't going to say anything until you felt like I've said enough.
And then you had the PGA, which was often thought of as like an afterthought because it was in September. And it's like you totally forgot the year was almost over, and then here's the PGA. Well, now they moved the PGA to May, right? So you have the majors in April, May, June, and July, which I think is cool.
Right.
Usually the U.S. Open falls roughly around
Father's Day.
Yeah, Father's Day.
It is Father's Day weekend.
And then the British Open, the world, the champion golfer is crowned usually around 4th of July, right?
Somewhere around there.
So every now and then you get an American, they'll sneak in and win on the 4th of July, stuff like that.
You know what we forgot to talk about?
We ain't done yet.
Well, and you're going to think I'm losing it. The women's NBA.
Do they still have that?
It's over. Well, it's not over. Women's college basketball Caitlin Clark and all those. I mean, I might watch some of them. I enjoyed watching the playoffs.
Well, you'd help prove a point.
But probably would.
Uh-oh.
Yes, well,
you got talking to the mic.
I found. Okay. I think I've got a picture here somewhere. Y'all talk about. Well, what do you think about Caitlin Clark and the contract and everything?
Good for her.
I agree.
Yeah, because she's not going to make that money playing, so at least she's getting paid through endorsements. And if you look at the statistics, the reason that when they don't generate the revenue that the NBA does, and so, I guess according to the players' agreement, they get a certain percentage of what the revenues are, and if there's no revenue, they've got to get paid somehow.
And that's kind of what where I was going with that. The Facebook Warriors had a post showing that she's gonna be making, I think, in her highest year, $77,000.
Right. She made more than that in college.
$3 million.
Right, but her salary highest year will be $77,000 the fourth year. Then it showed a 4-year contract of an NBA player making $75 million in his fourth year, and they were all up in arms about how equal pay. I'm sorry if it doesn't bring in enough revenue, enough crowds, and enough marketing and stuff.
Well, and
pay for
basically
it.
the NBA funds the WNBA.
Oh yeah, it's like 15%
right
of what they get comes from the NBA to start with. That's where
I think it'll boost up though. You're right.
Yeah,
I think Caitlin Clark will boost.
Well, that whole class that come out of
and
it.
Angel
Right.
Reese,
Yeah, all of them, man. I think it'll.
Now, do you know who they got drafted by? Do you know the names of the teams?
I don't. I know
She
Reese and the girl from South Carolina,
Yeah.
the big Brazilian girl. I know they're both with Chicago.
The girl that had the red hair during the tournament and everything.
And Clark
She's like
went
6'8"
to
or something.
6'7".
Clark went to the Indiana team.
Yep, the
Because
Fever.
her fiance is.
And that's a good
fit,
fit, staying right there in the Midwest.
Right.
That's
well,
just
that's
her MO,
Yep.
I think it's going to add to it. I think you're going to see some people watching games. It blew my mind that game between LSU and Iowa was the #1 basketball game ever on ESPN, men's or women's.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It is.
NBA or college.
Right.
Just so many people, because obviously the bad blood from the other game. I really wanted to see her win a title. Angel Reese got her title. I'd love to see Caitlin Clark get one. There's great players like that. South Carolina did win it, right?
Correct.
Girls. And that's the other girl you talked about, the big tall. Did you call her Amazon or?
No, I didn't. No,
You're Brazilian. I'm sorry.
Brazilian.
Well, in the Amazon in the Brazil.
Please stop.
Okay, sorry.
Just stop.
She's just a tall girl.
She is
6'7" is tall for anybody.
very much.
All right. So that covers the world of basketball. Well, here's one other thing you talk about. The transfer portal is off the chain.
It's crazy.
I'm not even going to try to until they tell me that the portal is closed. It's like watching the movie The Avengers. Until they close that portal, the aliens are still coming out.
Right.
So I don't know where everybody's going. Duke has totally reshuffled.
Yeah, the whole basketball team.
It's because they got some good players coming in. Everybody's leaving.
Right.
I like the day when I kind of like the way Hubert's been doing his team, trying to keep players 2 or 3 years.
Right.
It gives you a little bit of continuity. But then, you got some of them that just came in too.
Right.
One of the best players they had in the last that run they made to the title, where they lost in the national championship game, Brady Manick.
Right.
He came in for 1 year.
Yeah.
It was a hired gun. Who's your team, Irv?
Which one?
Your college basketball team.
Well, pull for the pack, man.
You're the pack, yeah.
I have pulled
Now,
for
this is your
Carolina.
opportunity right here to talk about that run.
I've pulled for Carolina too.
But this is your opportunity to talk about that magical run the Pack had. I thought, honestly, it just seemed like it was in the cards for them to get at least to the title game.
I think they did that to save old boy, the head coach.
Oh, you mean the run they made?
Yeah.
I thought you meant losing in
Well,
the
I think if he'd have kept losing,
I
would have been gone.
though just winning the ACC tournament got him a bonus.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Had
And then,
he not done that, I think he would have been gone.
Well,
the only reason State got there is because they won ACC tournament.
You know Robert Farley, of course.
Yes, I know.
Referee extraordinaire, big Pack fan.
Yes, he is.
We had an argument here that one day he didn't think that if the Pack, got to the ACC tournament final, he thought they were still out of the NCAA. I thought by getting to the NCAA final or the ACC final 5 games in a row, winning 4 out of 5, that they would have been in anyway. Do you think they'd have been in?
No.
That had to win the tournament.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. It was a moot point. They won it. Had that awesome run. I just thought it was in the cards.
I did too.
It just seemed like it. So who are they losing? Is Burns gone?
Yeah.
Or is he gone anyway? Just
I
graduated.
think he's graduated.
What about Horn? I think Horn has another year, but then as far as you know, he's coming back.
Yeah, I think so.
And then I'm sure it won't hurt recruiting being in the Final Four.
No, not at all.
That'll be good for that. I don't even know who. I'm a Carolina fan. I could tell you exactly who was coming in, who was leaving. I ain't even going to attempt to do it until the portal closes. ACC ought to be interesting. It was dinged this year for having a subpar year. Then all of a sudden, you had what was it like? They were 6-0. If you don't count the play-in game with Virginia,
Right?
They were like 6-0 at one time. So they had a really good year. Who? While we're on college basketball, let's talk about Slick John Calipari. Why do you think he left Kentucky?
Because he was going to get fired.
Yep.
Yeah. You think he saw the handwriting on the wall that next year he was gone.
Yep.
Now they already said they were keeping him this year. So I think he saw that opportunity to maybe a 4 or 5 year deal at I don't know what it was for at Arkansas and said, okay, bird in the hand. If I don't do any good next year, fired out of the bush.
Right.
What was it, like 3 years in a row they lost first round?
Yep.
That's crazy. And now here's the next question. He was at UMass, right?
Yep.
And then Memphis. Those were his two teams, right? UMass and Memphis.
I thought it was somewhere else too.
Providence, maybe to start with. But UMass and Memphis both had Final Four runs while he was there. Both were vacated due to violations that came out after he left.
Correct.
What do you see that meaning for Kentucky? You think
probably the same thing?
You think there's a skeleton there in the closet?
Well,
somewhere?
now with NIL money and stuff, it's not as likely to happen.
Yeah, but maybe it's something that happened before.
Right.
And as a Carolina fan, Carolina was number one in wins. Looked like they were locked to get the 2001st, then the Matt Doherty era. And it kicked us back. Kentucky passed, and actually Kansas is ahead now. So if they vacate some Kentucky wins, they might go from first to fourth pretty quick because Duke's right there. Odd that you had all those teams, they call them the Blue Bloods, right?
Yep. Blue
in color, and those are the top four right there. Even when you go to UCLA in fifth, they're blue.
Right.
It's just weird. And then UConn, they're blue.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something to it.
I was just on my last note.
So you think NC State will change?
No,
from red?
they're not going to change.
We're getting ready to wind it up.
Well, on my last note, Reggie Bush getting the Heisman back.
Yep.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was the rationale behind that, and what did they decide?
I guess because he received gratuities while he was in college, and he
basically NIL money.
Yeah. And now it's legal.
Yeah. So now they give it back to him.
Yeah. Okay. The bigger travesty still on the table is Pete Rose not in the Hall of Fame.
If he would have had a translator, he would have been okay.
Who, Pete Rose? Yep. I like it. I just got it. Took me a second, but I got it. Maybe I need a translator. All right. I think that's a wrap. We've covered just about every possible thing. Maybe not horse racing, but that's down the road.
Yeah. It's coming up.
See, I brought in some new stuff for you, buddy.
Now, horse racing is getting ready to kick off, the Derby and
sure
all
is.
that stuff. Yep. You ever get into that, Andy, or doing that stuff?
Are you related to Tony Marshburn? Okay, just checking.
Why? Okay, I got you.
95 pages.
All right, on my last thing, and I got one more thing. He said that like 4 times. All right, I promise Scott Smith, from the sports commission over there, patiently waiting to end it, everything. Says, all right, Scott, I promise on my last thing, and then I got one more thing. All right, Sports Talk is powered by the law offices of John Drew Warlick, Rock Creek Golf and Country Club, Golden Corral, Jones Lonzo EMC, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative, Barnes Diamond Gallery, National Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Bayshore Animal Hospital. Remember, their new location is open at 623 East Sabiston Drive in Swansboro. Bartley Insurance Services, Bill Mercer, Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, Southern Touch Painting. Thanks to Helen's Kitchen for those Billy Burgers we're getting ready to have for breakfast. The hurricane warning now is sponsored by Downey's Heating and Air. Thank you, Jason Humphrey and the boys. And we'll transition to the Wood Ducks report shortly. Hopefully not till the middle of June, because you know what that means?
Playoffs.
That means that the Hurricanes have gone deep if they go that deep. Find On-Demand Sports Talk Podcast at WSME971.com. Always on YouTube at WSME Radio. I've talked way too much. I feel like Tony Marshburn. Tony, we love you. And that's a wrap.
Woo! Thank you.